Hi, everyone. Again, it's me and my buddies here to talk about another Mile High Minute after our game last night against the Los Angeles Chargers. I wasn't able to watch the game with the guys, but I'm sure where they were at and I were at, we were very loud and screaming and enjoying the game a lot.
It was a good one.
so, yeah. What was your highlight of the game then, Steve?
Highlight of the game. I think probably Javonte Williams getting his touchdown. We've been waiting for him to kind of work his way back from injury, and he's been showing something. But nice to see that finally happen.
And touchdown, Todd.
I'll tell you what, they did not convert the Chargers did not convert a single third down during the game. That is very fun.
But they tried a lot of fourth downs.
Yes.
No third downs.
Yeah, they did. Staley and his metrics and everything about whether he's going to go for it. One of the announcers is like, "You just got to put points on the board." At one point. Mine would probably be seeing Alex Singleton coming back from last week and doing a very, very good job at in what he was doing with, especially with the sack. That pass rush they had going on, it looked pretty good. So, all right. Well, we're going to get back into our normal that we do here called the good, the bad, and the ugly. And so, Todd, let's start with you with the good.
Okay. Well, I think I've got a good, but it's really a question. Are the Broncos good? Are they good? And I'll tell you I think is happening not only within the league, but even with the Bronco faithful, is that we all sort of emotionally gave up on the season so early that I don't really think we fully appreciate how good a team we are right now. We're in the last 7 games, we're 6-1. We share that with 2 other teams. I think our hope was maybe to slide into the wild card round and lose in the first round. But I think it's honestly time to start talking about, are we a top 10 team in the NFL? Are we a top 5 team in the AFC? And I think the answer is probably yes. I think we're that good. Defense is on fire. Russell is playing mistake-free ball for the most part, and we've got a very easy schedule. So we just have to see what happens.
Steve?
I'm going to go with the defense for my good. They have been playing really well. They've definitely been leaning on the blitz, but they've been making it work, and they've been hitting people from every different direction. They definitely made it stick this week.
Well, I agree. And I think those both good. And that's why I think maybe Steve and I do, or Steve, do you agree with Todd? Do you think we are a good football team? What do you
Oh,
think?
definitely. Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, I've said this in posts and I've said it to you guys before. Like, I really think the national press, the national guys, after we lost 70-20, they were like, they're a joke, they're not that good, et cetera, et cetera. And I think we just really, one, brand new season, brand new coach, not really understanding what he's needing to do. And then 3, we got hit with some major, major interest in the injuries in the defense. And so I think they didn't see that we were as good as we really are. I think we got some issues with offense. I'll just slightly disagree with you guys, but I'm hoping that these next games that we have will allow us to maybe work out some of those kinks a little bit more and will make us better. I think we're getting hot at the right time is what
Yeah,
I'll
and I
say.
and I think there's like still sort of just like a hangover from how bad we were last year and have been for several years running. That's just sort of we assume that there's something the wheels are going to come off. It's just it's all an illusion. Whereas if we went back to 2015, we just assume the first few games they're just having a rough spot and they'll be fine. So we just got to get used to being good again, and we'll do that.
Yeah.
That's my point. That's my point.
Yeah.
I don't think we really have a good sense of how good we are. Even the NFL power rankings, they've had us at 15-20 for the last 4 or 5 weeks, but a number of the teams that are ahead of us are teams we beat. So go figure.
Right. Yeah, and that AFC West playoff situation, not AFC West, but the AFC playoff situation, there's 5 teams with a 7-6 record. it's going to change every week based on who's beaten who and who wins that week. So um, that'll be interesting to see. My good is of course we've all loved this guy, but again, another amazing catch in the end zone. It's got to be Cortland Sutton. Hit that catch he got. It was a beauty. It would have been Judy if he caught the one pass. We all know which pass we're talking about. So that one was there. It was so there. But again, Cortland in the end zone for me. I mean, he's come back from his ACL. He's showing that he should be the number one receiver on the team. And it's only him and Russell are only getting better and better together. So I still don't know how he caught that ball. I don't know how he's caught every ball he's caught in the end zone that him and Russ have come. You look at the rankings and it's like 12% chance of catch, and it's on and on and on. Okay, all right. So we're gonna go with
Quickly,
yeah.
the throw that Russell did to Portland, that was a total of 60 yards. So the dude has some arm left. He threw it on a rope.
Yeah. I was gonna get into that in my ugly. So we'll talk about that one again. Okay. All right. The bad. Steve, how about you start with the bad?
I debate about putting this as my ugly, but I go with it as my bad. Is the way that that we've seen Judy playing. And I think there was a lot of talk last week about why isn't he being seen? Why doesn't Russell see him? And it's really it keeps coming back to I don't think that Russell trusts him, and he throws those passes like what he threw to Judy yesterday. If he threw that to Sutton, the catch is made. We know that. And so as long as Judy is not able to come through on those plays, I don't see where he's going to have trouble getting to the status of where he was drafted with this team. And, and it was two passes. It was like there was the one that was a deep ball, which people talked about the placement, blah, blah, blah. But then it's just not dragging his foot in a play that was an obvious, that's what you got to do. And it's like, I don't know if he's just thinking too much or what, but that's my bad.
I'd agree with that one. The non-toe drag. I mean, that would have been another touchdown. It just would have completely put that game away. I mean, at that point, Stick was in. Our pass rush was pretty much running hot, except for Khalil Mack, of course, had a game like he always does, but that man's a beast. So it's kind of hard to stop him. But I agree on the bad for that one. Todd?
So I've got a theme going on here. My bad is the Kansas City Chiefs. Are they bad? I think they're bad. In the last 6 weeks, when we've gone 5-1, they've gone 2-4. They're losing big games at home, and this craziness that happened yesterday with let's just get it all out in the open. That was the penalty for sure. The flag was thrown before the play unfolded. Just imagine that when everyone saw the flag on the ground, they saw that Tony was offsides, and then he scored the game-winning touchdown with a minute and a half left. The fans would not abide by that. That would be such an example of Kansas City favoritism that it could really shake the foundation of the integrity of the league. So I don't know what Patrick's talking about. I don't know what Andy's talking about, but it was an offsides pass. It was first down. Patrick, you had 3 more plays to make it happen, and he didn't do it. So get back to the drawing board and get ready for next week.
Todd? Not Todd. The funny thing is I'm going to talk about this in corner office tomorrow in the roundhouse. We're going to have a discussion about this call. Not necessarily we're going to talk about this call, but we're going to talk about more in are there my thing also is, and I think this is where I think Reed misspoke about this because we all know all Tommy had to do was look at the ref and say, "Am I in the right spot?" And the ref will tell him either he is or he isn't, and he can adjust. He didn't do that. He literally forgot about it. He's offsides. You're right. They got the flag. They got the flag before the ball even left his hands.
Right.
So there's nothing in there that they affected how it was done.
And he was not
Mahomes,
mildly offsides. He was way offsides.
he had an entire foot inside
Yeah.
the offsides thing. But the thing also is, and a lot of people aren't talking about this too, is technically it's something I talked about when on the corner office. We explained, like, if there's a penalty and they go to review it, they can also go back and tack on other things too if they want to. If they see other fouls or other things, penalties that are wrong. The Chiefs were in an illegal formation. Their guard wasn't even facing wasn't in the right spot. So they would have gotten the flag no matter what, or they should have gotten the flag no matter what. Now, I hear Mahomes is saying what he was screaming about offsides at the game was because he was claiming that Von Miller was offsides. That's what he was pissed about. But now this things that they're coming up with, you know what, honey? Don't become Tom Brady and whine about every call on the field and try and get things changed and all that. Take your lumps. Don't put the blame on the Chiefs because, like what you said, Todd, I think the Chiefs are good. Their wide receivers are not where they have been in the past. You cover Kelsey, you stop Kelsey, they have a problem. And so I don't think they're the walkaway winner, but they're not as good as everybody wants them to be. And
They're good
so,
the last 6 weeks. That's not a
yeah,
good. Just not.
no. The only thing is, and a lot of people are talking about we can win the AFC West. No, we can't. We can't. We lost to the Raiders. If we hadn't lost to the Raiders in the early of the game and they lose one of their games, we would still be tied and they would beat us in the tiebreaker right now. Well, okay, hold on, back up a little bit. If we lose, if we win every game going out from now on, and they win every game going out, they still beat us by one. So they're still going to win the AFC West. If we had won the Raiders game, we would be tied, but they would win we would actually we're tied. They won one, we won one. So then it would go to conference record, and there they would beat us again. So we can't win the AFC. There's no way unless they lose a game. And their schedule, I don't think it's going to happen. They would end up they're going to end up being a game above us. I'm just looking at numbers. I would love for us to win the AFC West, and if the Chiefs fall apart in the next 4 weeks, yay!
You mean
I just
continue to fall apart.
Yeah.
yeah, continue to.
They're going to be distracted.
So I think it's kind of the bad. I think we're looking at a wild card spot. And we're going to have to fight and claw, and the team's going to have to do what they've been doing, which is finding their heart and finding the stop at that 4th and 1 and 4th and 2. All right. Let's see. Should we go to the ugly?
Sounds good.
Okay. Okay, we're going to go to the ugly. We've kind of talked about this before, and it's still the same way. And I've seen it this week, not so much because they're getting quieter because the stats are out there. I'm really tired of the fan base that thinks that if we are not having a Peyton Manning type season, we're not winning and we're no good and we need to get rid of who else but Russell Wilson next year. I'm tired of it. It's ugly. It's ugly. It's ugly. It's like all the people that were jumping on the bandwagon when Vance Joseph had a brand new defense and was teaching these guys, and everybody's like, fire Vance, fire Vance, fire Vance. I'm tired of it. I'm sick of it. Let's move on. I mean, the man has the 2 longest TD passes in the league this year. But he's not Peyton Manning blowing everybody out. But seriously, I'm done with it. Okay, that's my rant. That's my ugly. On to you guys. Steve, what do you think is the ugly?
Well, I was going to go with Patrick Mahomes' attitude in that game, but that's been thoroughly covered.
The gum.
So I'm going to go. I'm going to go with ugly is the all of the cornerbacks who can hold Cortland Sutton's arm and still not stop that pass. Like I hope someday that I can just be as relaxed as those PI flags are on the ground, that I don't have to do the work. It's already taken care of. So, it's fine.
To go along with that, what I find also immensely amusing is about the Chiefs and them complaining about these offside call, about how it was ticky tacky and they should just let us play the game. Well, you know what? It was a non-defensive PI call that allowed you to win the Super Bowl last year. So you want to talk about ticky-tacky calls? Let's take back your Super Bowl trophy for
They're
that. Okay.
just mad that the refs are going off script. That's all.
Well, they've been getting everything they wanted, but I agree. I do think the non-PI calls are an issue because it always sets it up. Like, was that a call that affected the game? And if it's in the last 2 minutes of the game, it does affect the game, no matter how you think about it. So I think I have always been a big proponent that I believe the refs should be professionals. It should not be volunteer with them having a job during the week and then showing up on Sundays or Saturdays or however they're doing it. That's just my thought. But I mean, all of them are lawyers. It's not as if they need this job to like, or I should say, a lot of them are lawyers. So, I mean, lawyers like rules and regulations and nitpicky
So many
things.
jobs you can have for half the year and have it work out very well,
Yeah. All right, Todd, you're ugly.
All right. So if the Broncos are the good and the Chiefs are the bad, guess who is the ugly?
The Raiders?
Los Angeles Chargers.
Oh, yeah.
Los Angeles Chargers. Somebody who started watching them in the late 70s under Eric Coryell with Dan Fouts. I've got to tell you, it just must be impossible to be a fan of this team. They're always they're massively talented. They haven't won anything in 50 years other than getting to a Super Bowl where they just completely got destroyed by
With
Steve.
LaDainian Tomlinson, of all people.
Uh,
Yeah.
I mean, Philip Rivers, regardless of how you feel about him in Denver, he was fun to watch. Harbaugh had good years there. Bledsoe had good years there. They've had great receivers, great tight ends, but they can never get anything done. And I saw it yesterday and then read about it today, but there was a point in the game yesterday where Alex Singleton felt like he motioned to the fans to quiet down because there were more Bronco fans in the stadium than Charger fans. They should have never left San Diego. They should get back there as soon as possible. And I don't know, man, it takes a certain kind of pleasure of pain to be a Chargers fan. And I feel for you, but man, it's ugly.
Yeah.
Especially
I mean, there is just the one, but, it's a tough life for that guy.
Especially when they have such a good quarterback and Justin Herbert. I've been saying it all year. Like, a lot of people are like, "Oh, he's good. He's good." It's like he's good, but he's 50-50. He's almost tied in terms of his wins and losses and in terms of his passes versus interceptions. And I also think some of that too is that they haven't, where like Chiefs have a problem because they got a lot of young wide receivers who aren't as experienced enough. I think the Chargers have the other problem. Their tight end and their wide receiving core is older. Like, they get injured. Mike Williams is out of the game. He's done. Keenan Allen is out of the game. They're done. They don't have anybody. They've got people. They got Eckler, who's good, but I agree, Todd. They're just it's bad. It's a really, really bad team.
Yeah.
And right now, Herbert and Eckler are probably they're
Well,
they're
and
not
we're
being
learning
used to the potential. But
yeah, and we're learning
I'm gonna say the Raiders are the ugly of the AFC West
always.
team. If it was a 3-0 game against the Vikings yesterday, that stat was, when I saw it, was like punt, 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 all the way down. That was an ugly, ugly
Yeah.
game. So,
I
all right,
have one, just a quick addition, if I may, Tina, to the
sure,
crazy.
yeah.
I don't know if I've ever watched a game where twice we celebrated touchdowns and went to the commercial break and had them disappear, much less in the same drive within the same 3 minutes. I will remember, I really enjoyed yesterday's game, but I think I will remember that forever. Like, that was just so silly. no problem, no major problems with either call, but it was pretty strange.
Yeah. My thing that I had the biggest problem with that I was fussing over here was them sitting there. The game is going on, and they're sitting there interviewing Philip Rivers because they're going to be doing the halftime show. And I'm sitting there going, the game is on. Okay. Like,
It's not
it's not a
preseason.
break.
What are you doing?
Like, and that's when I was completely cued in, like, oh, we have a Homer announcing team for this game. I'm watching the local station, so but yeah. All right, Steve,
It
you
was
got
not
anything
well
else?
received in the walls of Chicago Bronco Nation, for sure. We did not
Oh no. Oh, I know. I saw a few videos. Yeah.
One
Any
thing I would just add, we were talking about the, Herbert and his struggles and all that. It's like this year is really putting to rest the notion that you just need the quarterback. Now you need the coach, you need the players around them. That's why Holmes is struggling, is because he's got the coach obviously, but the players around him is an issue. Wilson, he's got the coach now. He's got at least some of the players, and so thus we're looking pretty good. So
Yeah. And I agree, defenses win championships. I mean, yeah, you gotta put points on the board, but you also gotta keep the other team from scoring too, and that's what I'm really liking about our defense is how opportunistic they are. It's like Vance Joseph kinda took what Fangio and those guys had, where he had the people that were like our corners were getting it and getting the ball and trying to be ball hawks, but he's adding in that pass rush, and I think the pass rush is getting better because they've had time to work with each other. So, I don't know if you guys saw, but Quinn Meinertz actually stayed the night in in a hospital in LA. So for an
yeah, and he
elevated
was
heart,
cleared, so I guess he's okay. But yeah, I guess it was some sort of heart auger
where
thing.
yeah,
Yeah,
that might be a situation that they might be having to not use him as much. And we got a short week. Come okay, so that's my lead in to the game against Detroit. What do you guys think? What do you think we have to watch out for? What do you think is going to be good leading into that? And what do you think our chances are?
I think this is going to continue our win streak. I'm really annoyed that it's on a Saturday night, but that's okay. We'll make it work.
I
Todd?
think it's a put up or shut up game for the Broncos. Obviously, the Lions, instead of being the best team in the NFC, are still the Lions. I've seen them play a little bit over the last few weeks. They're not playing very well. It is in Detroit, but I feel pretty good about it. I feel pretty good about the rest of the year. I think we could go 4-0.
I'm feeling much better about the game after how they performed on Sunday, but this is a stat I did not know. Detroit has beaten every one of the AFC West teams they have played this year. So let's break that streak because, like, we do need this game. I think we need this game morally and for our team to continue to get better. As everyone's seen with prognosticators and all the things that are out there, we can still lose one game. I just prefer it not to be this game. But I don't want to lose to the Raiders and I don't want to lose to the Chargers again. So I like us to continue and hopefully we go 4-0 and we can control our own destiny into the playoffs. So
Well, let's
instead
see
of
if
waiting,
we're good. Let's see if we're
what?
good. Let's see
Yeah.
if we're good. Saturday will be a test.
Yeah, Saturday definitely will be a test. All right. Well, anything else you guys want to talk about? All right. Well, everyone, in Let's Talk Football, that was our Mile High Minute with Touchdown Todd and Steve and myself, Tina. And just remind everybody there is Roundtable tomorrow that I will be on there with Delilah and Nick and Handy. And like I said, we're at least in the corner office. We're going to be talking a little bit more about the Mahomes situation. I'm going to lead that into another discussion about some other fouls and penalties that other people have had issues with, such as the penalty that's on the opposite side of the field happens to pull that touchdown back. We're going to talk about a few of those too. So see you guys tomorrow. And thanks, guys. again for joining me for
Take care, everybody.
Mile High Minute. And we'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.